Yesterday, I poured some of the Seedlac flakes into this jar and poured some thinner, some alcohol into the mixture here, and it's really thick. In fact, and it needs to be filtered, but before filtering, I'm going to thin it a little bit right here and make sure that it'll work okay through the filter. This is not de-waxed shellac. This is pretty dirty stuff with a lot of material in there that needs to be filtered out. So I think that's good enough to go through the filter. And I have this jar right here, which I mixed yesterday and used quite a bit of it already. So I want to just add to that amount of filtered. And I've got some of this cheesecloth here that I've been using for the past week. And there's enough cloth here, I think, to finish up here. Although I'm out to the outer edge, I have to be careful not to spill it out. So I'm just going to pour some in there. And it fills up the cloth pretty fast. It's just so dirty. I just have to keep moving it and then pouring more in. Okay, let me shift over to a cleaner area of cloth. Boy, there's some thick stuff down there. Just move over here a little bit further to some cleaner cloth. Yeah, it's working well. This is Kusmi. K-U-S-M-I, Seedlac. This is a dark, I prefer this style for my pieces. Of course, there's blonde shellac and orange shellac and all kinds of other styles. Sometimes I'll finish off with some blonde shellac, de-waxed. They say that's a little bit of a harder material, the de-waxed, and provides a little more protection perhaps. I'm not convinced of that, but sometimes I'll finish off a piece where I've used this first and then finish off with some de-waxed blonde. I don't think I'm going to do that on this piece. I'm going to do some French polishing with this shellac, and I think I'll call that done. This piece will be used by my grandson. And now, people are concerned that I'm using shellac, and I've got a college-age grandson, and how is that going to work? But he knows his whole life has been on top of furniture that I made and finished with shellac, and he knows how to take care of it. So I'm not worried about that. If something happens, shellac is easier to fix and repair. I don't have to do that very often, but that's available if required. Now, I'm looking at this shellac. I've mentioned before I don't measure the flakes and then measure the amount of alcohol to get the 1 pound cut or 1.5 or 2 pound cut. I keep it on the thin side. I think I'm probably 1.5, 2 pounds, but I don't measure. I can pretty much see what it's a little bit, I want it watery. And so I tend to just try it out and see how it works. If it needs a little more thinning, I'll just do just like what I did there. Add a little more thinner. And I think that's pretty good the way it is. It's watery. And so I'll be able to use that. And what I want to do is I'm using a pad to apply the shellac, this pad. So I just pour some of that into this dish and then dip the pad and apply. Now, later on, I'm going to wrap this with this cotton cloth and do some French polishing on the top. So that'll be the last step.